It was interesting. He said the assassination of Massoud.
Ahmed Shah Massoud, who was the leader of the Northern Alliance.
I'm not going to ask you again. No.
The threats.
Exit the building.
Stop. Especially the library, the Central Library, and across the street from Liberty Tower. Especially the library, the Central Library, and across the street from Liberty Tower, and across the street from Liberty Tower.
He said the assassination of Massoud. Assassination of Massoud. Massoud, the leader of the Northern Alliance. The assassination of Massoud.
Massoud, Al-Qaeda, Massoud.
That the assassination of Massoud was part of the 9/11 operation. Like, my view is he was probably assassinated as part of the 9/11 plot, as he said, but the plotters would be more like within the U.S. system. Al-Qaeda was set up. It means the base. As part of the U.S. effort to take down the Soviet-backed puppet regime in Afghanistan.
We're trying to talk about important things.
Goodbye.
Important things.
Goodbye, sir.
After the demise of the Soviet Union, hey, you're a permanent war economy in the United States. You don't have an enemy. You have to invent an enemy. Al-Qaeda is not just something external. Any media that talks about Al-Qaeda as exclusively an external enemy and doesn't acknowledge the internal roots of Al-Qaeda, I take that as a signal that this is propaganda. So that's what we were seeing tonight.
And I was walking around on the streets of Kabul, and Afghans were hugging me because I was American.
This was a really good example of the perversity and the distortions and the pure propaganda that emerges from this so-called embedded journalism.
They need to put more resources and more men into that country.
That this is part of the war machine. Of course, the war machine, the real war, is to contaminate our minds. This is not serious journalism.
As a journalist, you basically have a passport to do anything you want if you call yourself a journalist. To do anything you want if you call yourself a journalist. To do anything you want if you call yourself a journalist. To do anything you want if you call yourself a journalist.
To the constant propaganda that we've been fed.
The amount of goodwill in that country for what we had done, toppling the Taliban, liberating the Afghan people.
On a scale that Joseph Goebbels, it makes what Joseph Goebbels did, the minister of propaganda in the Nazi regime. We've taken that science of mind control and opinion control so much further.
Face this tremendous danger from Iran.
I.F. Stone said, the danger is on the right, but the crackdown is on the left.
For the War and Peace Report, I'm Amy Goodman. Our guest is Professor Cass Sunstein.
We see that with Amy Goodman, with Noam Chomsky, this unrelenting effort to say, well, we shouldn't even talk about 9/11.
Thank you. Go away. Go away.
Different panel.
Fascist crackpot.
Different.
Fascist crackpot. We're not here to talk to you.
And we shouldn't even look at the evidence, even to talk about it. It's
Slobbering, chinless sympathizer of Islam.
somehow seen as, what is it, Amy? What is it, Noam?
Sympathizer of Islam.
Like Noam Chomsky had a book on 9/11 and proclaimed right off the bat that this obviously came from an external enemy.
Did they plan it in any way or know anything about it? This seems to me extremely unlikely. I mean, for one thing, they would have been insane.
I mean, Pakistan, this emphasis he kept on, you referred to the Taliban. Well, they're aliens.
Pakistan, they were in control of the Taliban.
Therefore, that justifies our 700 bases all over the world, our Trident submarines, our militarization of space, bankrupting the country.
Pakistani government.
They're coming in from Pakistan.
Pakistan, they were in control of the Taliban.
I mean, when these drones go up these valleys in Pakistan, they don't have a machine inside that says, oh, there's some kids, better leave them alone. Oh, there's an Al-Qaeda, boom, boom, boom. Oh, those people, they're just playing cards. No, there's obviously like ethnic cleansing going on here. This since 9/11 on the basis of this fraudulent account and plausible account of what happened on 9/11.
September 11, Pakistan, inviting bin Laden. September 11, Pakistan, inviting bin Laden.
Obama, repeated all these Bushite fables.
That our security is at stake in Afghanistan and Pakistan. This is the epicenter of violent extremism practiced by Al-Qaeda. It is from here that we were attacked on 9/11.
In the Cold War, the United States built up theocrats all over the world.
It was a rogue nation accountable to no one. Of course, we paid a huge price for that on September 11.
Say the department cannot account for $2.3 trillion in transactions in 1 year alone.
It is, I was going to say terrifying.
A huge price for that, and a huge price for that, and huge price for that. And
$2.3 trillion.
A huge price for that.
And unless we get at that, the peace movement can say, well, I'm against all the terrible invasions that happened in the name of this global war on terror. What originated the global war on terror? I think it's very important to use the phrase the 9/11 wars.
September 11.
It is about a platoon of American soldiers stationed in the isolated Korangal Valley of eastern Afghanistan.
The 9/11 wars, the 9/11 wars, the 9/11 wars, the 9/11 wars.
I went there in fall of 2000 to spend a month with Ahmad Shah Massoud, who was the leader of the Northern Alliance.
It was, classic propaganda. It was all about the human interest stories of our boys and what brave people and what courageous and thoughtful and complex people they are. And so U.S. built up religious theocrats, including the Mujahideen in Afghanistan, the people now being demonized as the culprits of 9/11. Let's get real. Let's do a little research. Let's get folks like Sebastian Junger educated a little bit. I think he's educated. He just knew that he was out of his depth.